Seeks.
Zeke.
Zeke.
Ooh, it's live.
Zeke.
Hi, guys.
But
it's spelled S-I-E-C-H.
We're live today,
sure.
WIDU1600AM, and I'm trying to get my tripod to cooperate, so please be patient with us.
And your blog is called Kelly Seeks, E-E-K-S?
S-E-E-K-S. Maybe, yes, that's what I was saying. Maybe I don't want to sit here.
Yes, you do.
I
think I might switch.
I'm rocking my bun.
Your...
Yeah, I'm rocking my bun this morning. Highly, it's pretty high this morning. I hit it on the car when I got in. That's how I know when it's like. When
it's high.
When it's on point is like when I whack my bun on the car.
Let's get Wade in there.
No. Let's not get Wade.
Yes, because if I have to be in it. Oh, I'm in front of a mic. That's good. I'm good with that.
Let's see how I can. Yeah, that's good. Oops. Oh, you're gonna be like double the. You're gonna get everything you say, Wade. That's good right there. And then I'll just pull this.
So how does this thing
Okay,
work?
Kelly, it's directional. So
Okay.
you got to talk right into it. You don't have to be right on it, but you have to talk into it.
Is this good or is this too close?
No, that's good.
No,
that's good.
'Cause I'll pull it on the table.
If you go to the side, what they hear is.
All right, this is my morning. At least my man morning voice is gone.
Oh my
I
gosh.
normally sound like a
Your
man.
rasp.
Yeah, I normally sound like a man
Hi.
person this morning.
Thanks for watching. Be sure you guys call in. I put the number in the post. Call in with any questions. There's a lot of
Call
stuff
in.
happening.
We like talking to each other, but we really like talking to you.
Yeah, definitely. So call in and tell us what you guys think.
Yeah, Jenny Bell.
I didn't see her jump on yet. She's probably coming.
She will be. By the way, I've decided you need to change the name of your site.
Of my
Your
site?
blog.
To what?
The Amazing Mrs. T.
Why? That's kind of cool. How come?
Because you are.
I'm amazing. Oh, Wade.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, so much energy, all the connections, trying to make things happen, stuff. And then we've got the other amazing Miss T over here.
Yes.
Miss D. Fries before guys, y'all. I'm just digging it.
Thank you, boss man. You all let me know when you are ready. Oh.
Are we on time?
Yes, sir.
Is it 9 o'clock?
Yeah. I have 9. What time do you have?
I don't know.
I have 8:59.
I don't know because I didn't turn my watch
I
on.
reset you and you still are not on time.
That's fine.
Sorry about that.
We're ready whenever you
All
are.
right, thank you, sir and madam. You all can begin in 3. Okay, you all can begin in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Wake Up Fayetteville. Not Wake Up. When I get Wake Up, I used to be on Wake Up.
You did.
Now it's What's Going On
He's
Fayetteville.
having flashbacks.
I'm going back into history lane there, y'all. This is What's Going On in Fayetteville. The radio show, the one radio show in Fayetteville that lets you know what's going on all around our community and gets you in touch with some of the people who have their finger on the pulse of everything going on. If you haven't kept up with some of the really world-class bloggers we've got in this area keeping us up with things going on around here and around the world, you need to look into it. And I've got my dear friend and now co-host. I'm changing her from the Mrs. T to the amazing Mrs. T, Tiffany Haywood.
Hey guys, how are you?
And we have a special guest. Tiffany, since you're the one that brought her here, I'll let you introduce her.
Okay, so we have one of my friends, a blogger also from right here in Fayetteville, Miss Kelly Zeeks is her last name?
Zeke.
Yes, Zeke. I never say it right, but her blog is Kelly Seeks, SEEKS.com, and she is amazing. And she's going to share a bit about what she does and why she does it with us today.
Welcome to the show, Kelly.
Thank you. Morning glories.
And by the way, you are listening to the WIDU Radio Network. We're WIDU 1600 AM in Fayetteville, WAGR 1340 AM in Lumberton, North Carolina, WEWO 1460 AM in Laurinburg, WYDU Powerhouse 1160 AM in Red Springs, North Carolina. You can listen to us on the web at www.widu1600.com. That's WIDU1600.com. Call-in number is 910-483-6111. And believe it or not, as much as we enjoy talking to each other, we really enjoy talking to you to talk about things that are going on in Fayetteville. I have to tell you, though, this morning's been a full morning for me already. We started at 6 o'clock this morning over at our restaurant, putting a new fence up around the back.
So you are getting the most out of your 24 today.
Yeah, oh boy, howdy. So, and by the way, we talked about Tiffany and her. She's a blogger extraordinaire, and also I think she knows everybody in Fayetteville that's doing cool things now. I mean, I don't know.
Kind of, sort of. I try to stay in the know.
And I am Wade Fowler. I own Fowler's Southern Gourmet Restaurant at 723 West Rowan Street, where we do fresh cooked barbecue every day and homemade sauces and all that kind of stuff. Everything's made in-house. So anyway, this show came about. I just want we never did give the background on why this show came about. As we opened the restaurant, we got to know a lot of people in other small businesses around and started meeting some of the bloggers that were in the area. And I thought, people ought to be interested in what's going on around our town, and there's not a show really dedicated to that. And so I thought we could introduce people to the restaurant world, the different kinds of things to eat around here, different programs to go to, different fun events to go to, and to get to meet neat people who really care so much about this community that they write about it a lot. And so that's how this came about, and it was kind of a way also to introduce this radio station to the blogosphere, and to introduce the blogosphere to the folks who listen to this radio station. So it was just kind of seemed like a neat blend, and then I got to meet Tiffany. And she was my first guest.
Isn't she amazing?
She was my first guest on this show, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but I fell in love with her.
I love you too,
from the sense of just how much fun. Kim, if you're listening, it's not that kind of love.
Kim, I'm no threat. Trust me.
So anyway, that's how we got started. But Kelly, we want to talk about you right now and what you're doing and what your blog is all about and what you see is kind of neat about Fayetteville and maybe something that you found out about Fayetteville that other people ought to know about.
Let's see. So I blog at Kelly Seeks. I started blogging about a year ago at this address. Before then, I was actually blogging at a different blog site, and I did that for about 3 years too. And so my first blog was about parenting kids with special needs in the military. I am an Army spouse. We are stationed here. I'm actually from the Midwest. And realized it was really hard to get information.
You're from the Midwest?
Yes.
Now, where'd you get that Southern accent you talking
I did
with?
not have any Southern accent.
You kind of do, just a little.
So I found it was hard to find resources in the military. They really don't give you anything once your kids get diagnosed with anything. So I provided a whole bunch of information to other parents in the military who were looking for advice on where to go, how to go through EFMP and all that kind of stuff.
EFMP?
Yes, so it's Exceptional Family Member Program the Army has, and once you're diagnosed with, there's a whole gamut and list of things, you have to register for it. But when your kids have autism especially, they don't really tell you how to navigate getting therapies and setting up things like that. So I stopped that when I moved here. I was in Hawaii when I did that, and I moved here, and I realized that I really didn't know who I was anymore when I got to Fayetteville, because my youngest of 3 kids started kindergarten, and I had been a stay-at-home mom ever since my son, who will be 11, in December. And so I have a college degree, and I was kind of trying to figure out if I go back to college, if I finish my master's, if I get a new degree. And I realized I wasn't the same person I was 10 plus years ago. And so I started my blog again to figure out who I was again and to track all my adventures and mishaps I would have along the way, trying to figure out, once again, who I was. And right now, I'm just trying to survive parenthood with 3 kids in school and dealing with their special needs and my husband being in the Army. And that has kept me busy. I tried to find a job, couldn't find a job that would work with me. And so now I'm just trying to figure out if I go back to school or not. But I'm kind of back at the bottom of the totem pole in life again. Where, like, you walk into that cafeteria on the first day of freshman year of high school and you try to figure out which table you sit at. Like, who do you fit along with again? And so that's kind of what I write about right now. I write about our adventures along the way, especially traveling. I decided that since my husband just deployed, that if the kids and I were going to survive each other for the next year, that we could not stay at home because we would probably kill each other. So we've gone on 4 vacations so far and have 4 more left for the summer. And so I write about, right now, a series about traveling about 3-hour radius from Fayetteville. Because being here, I realize there's things to do here, but when you move around with the military, I feel like you really need to take advantage of where you're at. And so I'm exploring all the things in Fayetteville, which I love to do with my kids, and then I figured, why not see what else there is? And so,
what's the name of your series that you're on your blog right now? Sanity. It's some Summer of Sanity?
Yeah, Surviving the Summer of Sanity is what I have right now.
And she has tips for how to do road trips, how to keep the kids occupied in the car.
Yes.
Definitely stuff every parent needs to know if you're going to try to spend the whole summer moving around and traveling.
And I have a post coming up about how to deal with kids who get carsick.
Oh, goodness.
Because that was the last one I just experienced.
Oh, you reminded me of a story.
I have a story on that one, too.
Yeah, trying to survive that.
Yeah, it wasn't one of my kids.
It was bad.
But it was in my car. No, it was a child.
Oh, but it was in your car.
Yeah, and we got to the place where we were going. I mean, I had pulled into the parking spot.
So close
to
and
that.
he barked all over the floor in the back of my car. I'm like, no, dude, open the door.
Or the window, just
anyway.
somewhere else.
Oh, I get car mats.
So, but I mean, still, it was like, he is a fireman today, and I remind him of everything.
You're like, you will never ever forget this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had an experience with my daughter. She was a baby, so I couldn't, she was like 2. But I don't do well with other people getting sick. So it almost became a domino effect because it happened. Yeah, she happened. I was just like, oh my goodness. So I know that series is definitely something a lot of moms and parents would need to go check out. So don't forget to check her out. She's over at Kelly Seeks. SEEKS.com.
All right, and let's go ahead and look at what's going on around Fayetteville today. And I see you've got a nice list in front of you.
Yes, Wade, I came prepared.
There's some cool things happening today, aren't they?
Yes, there are some things happening today. The number one thing happening today is the 4th Annual African World Peace Festival. That is happening right downtown. Everything is jumping off from the main stage, which is going to be on Person Street, right next to the Market House. It started today at 7, and that was with a 5K run. But you still have time to make it down for everything else because it's from 10. Well, the run was 7 to 10, but everything is going all the way until tomorrow at 12 noon. So
for me, it would have been a 5K hobble.
That's what I was
mine probably would have been a stroll or a walk.
A nice walk.
Yeah.
A brisk walk. I can do
brisk walk.
A brisk walk.
Yes, I can handle that. I don't know about the running part.
No,
I only run if people are chasing me.
Exactly. Or if I'm trying to get away from my kids.
Yeah, I have to have incentive to start running. But
I only run my mouth.
It was still something that definitely has a good purpose. The African World Peace Music Fest is a community peace project and fundraising event for Culture and Heritage Alliance, which is a 501c3 organization. There is going to be food, music, dance, so much culture is going to be down there today. So if you're looking for something to do today, downtown is where you need to head. The other thing that happens kind of all throughout the summer, but if you want a place to take your kids and you want to do it cheap, I'm all about cheap summer fun, especially when you have a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Swamp Dogs, Fayetteville Swamp Dogs today are versus Wilmington Sharks, and that is tonight at 7 p.m. at J.P. Riddle Stadium, and that's $7 to $9, so you can kind of swing that if you have a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
It's cheap summer fun, and a way to get them out of the house. We had a little cheap summer fun last night, too, over at the Screen on the Green in Spring Lake, and that also is still happening in August.
Yeah, they had Jumanji last night.
Yeah, they had Jumanji last night. It was really good. I was smarter this time, and I bought bug spray, and I sprayed like our whole area. So
I was not smart.
We were good last night, but it was a lot of fun, and that happens every, the second Friday?
Yeah.
Second Friday. So August is actually going to be Coco. And they have changed the time because remember last month it started at 6 and I was like, wow, that was a long time to wait for it to get dark because obviously you can't see a movie outside until it's kind of dark.
Right, because the sunset was like 8:37 last night.
Yeah, so now they pushed the start time back to 7:30. But next second Friday it is going to be Coco, so you guys can go check that out as well.
Yeah, and it'll get dark earlier then too. So
yeah.
good.
And the last thing that's happening today, this is something I'm kind of excited about because as you guys know, I had this little kayak adventure of my own a couple of weeks ago. Spring Lake Outpost is having a kids kayak festival today. This is all about the kids because, hey, face it, they deserve to have a little bit of fun too. And so today they're having kayaking just for the kids, face painting, bouncy house, water balloon fights, a slip inside, field and games. They're going to have a food truck there. I believe it's going to be tacos, which is always a plus for me.
Yeah, it is for me.
And they are also going to have, like I said, the water balloon wars. It's actually going to be like teams. So that should spark a lot of fun. And it's not too expensive. It's for a family up to 5. It's a $50 admission, which gets you all of that, plus your kayak and everything you need to have fun on the water.
Wow.
Yeah. Today's packed.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is not today, but there is something coming up that's being sponsored by a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And it's a one-day workshop called Partners in Marriage. And it's Dr. John Godbolt. And anyway, it is he's just a really, really great guy. Mm-hmm. Really, really great guy. And it's going to be on Saturday, July 28th. It's going to go from 8:30 to 4. And includes your workshop materials, lunch, and door prizes for it. So if you've got any interested in that, you can register at partnersinmarriage.com. Partnersinmarriage.com. And that's an important thing, you know. Enjoying who you're married to is kind of important, I think. You know?
Kind of.
Just a little bit, you know.
You want to have fun with them, right?
Yeah.
And kind of like them a little bit.
You know, I'm going to tell you what, you've brought up something that you talked about today. Your husband's deployed.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly, I think, after long deployments, it's got to be kind of hard to reintegrate when they come back because of, you've had to be mom and dad while he's gone.
I have to be good cop and bad cop.
Yeah, good and bad, and then comes back. And then I know I've got a friend of mine that has been deployed for a while, and he and his wife, come to our house for a Bible study on Thursday nights, and he's been gone. And so, seeing the difference, when he's back, and having to figure out how that all works in, I know it's tough. I was in the Air Force, and, basically, I would fly and then land
That's
back.
what my husband did.
Then I would land back at home and stay home. I got deployed
different.
so little, it was, it was crazy. It was just very few deployments.
Yeah, we've been lucky on our deployments. He was a pilot with the Army, and then now he works with drones. So he's still, he had his missions and stuff. He'd fly and then come back. But now he's over in Korea for a year. And it's hard. Yeah. It's hard when they get back in town. The marriage thing is good because when they come back, I think they overcompensate with not being here. So then they're way good cop.
Yeah.
And it takes
the
a little.
Kids get spoiled a bit.
Right, and they don't want to be mean because they've, the marriage thing is a great resource for military couples and, civilian couples alike too.
Yeah. And like I said, I just a really, really fine man is Dr. Goldbolt. And I'm trying to remember his wife's name. Bertel. There you go. I couldn't remember. Just a wonderful, wonderful couple that will be leading it, and I think that'd be a really, really good thing to do. And Tammy, our wonderful radio engineer, is holding up a thing that says break time. Okay, I'm good. At least it didn't say break dance because you really want to see me do that. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you all.
Hey guys, so we're on break, but feel free to call in. Hey Kelly, how are you? You can call us in at 910-483-6111. That's 910-483-6111. Call in, chat with Kelly over there, and ask us what's going on in Fayetteville.
I wonder if the team thing is adults versus kids.
I don't know.
Because I would love to be my
That would
kids
be
with
awesome.
some water balloons. Let me tell
They
you.
didn't say if that's what
Take
it is
out
or
some
not,
of
but
that
would be
stress
awesome.
and anxiety and on my children right now.
The other thing I wanted to bring up, like this weekend, I actually went hiking at Raider Rock.
Okay.
So I want to mention,
let's mention it.
we have there's 40 state parks in North Carolina.
Well, and I also would like to talk to you about some of these trips within 3 hours that you take and that we can recommend to people to.
That's the series I'm doing. Is I basically drew a circle and went because I wanted to do something I could do by myself as a single parent. With 3 kids.
Yeah.
And they have special needs, so there's things I have to take in consideration when we go. So that was...
Do all 3 of them have it?
My 2 oldest have autism, high-functioning autism, and my oldest has a rare disease called hypogammaglobulinemia. So every week I have to do medical treatments.
Yeah, gamma.
He lacks.
Okay, hold on one second. Want to break and they'll take
And then
your
my
call
middle child has lipoblastomatosis,
Oh my gosh.
which is where her fat cells multiply too much and she goes tumorous and has to have surgery to remove
It's
them.
Miss Kelly.
Yay, Kelly. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Yeah, my grandson, my oldest grandson is
Oh, shoot.
borderline
Good morning, WIDU.
Actually, my oldest is more Asperger's, but they don't just, in the DSM, they don't say it anymore. It's just the spectrum.
Huh?
Is it DSM-4 now? What DSM are they on?
5,
They're on 5.
I
Okay.
think.
Okay, give me a minute and I'll call you back.
And he broke his toe last night,
All right.
and so I was telling Tiffany he had broken a thumb before, and we didn't know. He
doesn't
doesn't
respond to
react.
pain.
Yeah.
So.
And last night he went into the fetal position and started crying. And as a parent, like, I felt kind of happy that he reacted, but I was sad that he.
Hard to go, man.
But I was like, but the first thing I said was like, "Were you running?" And he was like, "Yes." And then I didn't like think of it because we were walking out the door to go to the movie thing, and I was just like, "Get in the car, we're gonna go."
And he was fine.
He was fine. He was fine the entire night. And we get home, he's
It's
like,
broke.
"It's broke." It's like he totally like split his toe.
Oh.
So it's all black and blue on the inside. And this morning he's like, "I can't bend it," and I'm like, "Mom guilt. It's great."
Yeah.
I like scolded you for running in the house and just told you to get in the car. I'm like, I'm like the worst parent ever sometimes.
No, that's not the worst
Boss
parent.
man, let me know when you're ready and you have a call.
We're ready. Okay.
All right?
Kelly's on hold.
You can. Okay.
What are you doing to me?
Making sure you can hear your caller. You all can begin in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to What's Going On Fayetteville here on the WIDU Radio Network, and I'm told we have a caller.
Yay.
So let's take our caller. It's our inaugural caller, Kelly. Kelly, can I hear you? There you are.
Yay.
How you doing?
Say that one more time. We kind of missed it.
No,
Oh, no, that's-
we've got a speaker that's not working
Yeah.
well for us today, but that's okay.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got you.
Okay, cool. Well, so I want to give a shout out to something that my kids are involved in this week in Fayetteville. This is fantastic. There is a summer camp that Cape Fear Regional Theater is conducting.
Cool.
And they
Oh.
have
wow.
their shows today. They've been this camp all week, and they have their culminating show today. And my kids have never enjoyed something more ever. They have just had the best time. So I want to give a quick shout out to Cape Fear Regional Theater. And then I guess my question could be, what else can I do with them for the rest of the summer?
You know, I will tell you, I'm not sure when it's coming up, but if they really enjoyed the drama camp, I'm assuming that's what they did. They did, acting and all that kind of stuff. They're, the youth director at my church and his wife head up a drama group called Faith Players, and they are doing a camp this summer also, a drama camp. And I have been in a couple of the productions that they have done, and I want to tell you the instruction for the children involved is nothing short of remarkable. This is a guy who learned screenwriting from and playwriting from the guy who was the screenplay writer for Bonanza.
Oh,
And,
wow.
And remember what was it? Treasure Island? No, not Treasure Island. The Secret Island. Anyway, with Herbie Villachet is going deplane.
Okay,
Fantasy
Fantasy
Island.
Island.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that show.
So.
I just aged myself so much.
So anyway, if you want, you can check with his name is Joshua Rexford at Church of the Open Door, and you can find if they enjoy drama, they would really enjoy working with him too. I think, and I don't think that camp has happened yet. So
you can check that
Yeah,
out.
check
And then
that
Kelly, also, I have a bunch of stuff listed on my site. It's themrst.com. It's cheap summer fun. You can do everything from hiking to the bowling alley. I know JP Jump Masters on Monday. She has family nights, and you can have 4 kids jump for an hour for $40 on Monday nights from 5 to 8 p.m. And JP Jump Masters is veteran owned, so we always want to give them as much support as possible. So that's awesome. And the kids, you get to tire them out and then give them a snack and send them to bed.
Send them to bed. Yep, awesome. Oh, thanks, guys.
Hey,
Appreciate
thanks for calling in.
Great job on the show. Yeah.
And listen up, because Kelly's about ready to, another Kelly here, is going to give us a heads up on some of the things you can do within 3 hours of Fayetteville if you're going to do a trip with the kids.
Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
So that was a nice segue into, you did your 3-hour circle
Yes.
radius.
So I took a map and I drew a 3-hour circle around Fayetteville because, like I said, the kids and I are not going to survive each other. They're almost 11, 9, and 6. So yeah, I can't do them all summer in my house. So I decided to take a lot of trips. So earlier this year, around Memorial Day, we went to Greenville, South Carolina, and that's about 3.5, 4 hours. But they have an amazing downtown. They have a really sweet little zoo that has an awesome park that's right outside of it. And our kids, the zoo took maybe about an hour and a half. And what was great about their little zoo was like it's very close. Like all the animals are very close. I'm from St. Louis, so we have actually our St. Louis Zoo is a world-renowned zoo, and it's huge. And we were there for 4 hours and we still didn't finish our zoo. And but everything, the animals are further away. But since their zoo in Greenville is so small, the animals are kind of like right there, and that's what was so cool. It was like you could really get up and close with the animals there. And then the park outside was beautiful. Their downtown is so pet friendly, which I love about Fayetteville because I take our dog. I try and take her everywhere we go. And so we went to a restaurant in Greenville, and we had our dog with us. And I said, we have 5 people and a dog. Where can we sit, inside or out? And she said, you can sit anywhere. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. We chose, yeah. I was like, but then I'm like, code violations, nothing, that doesn't work, no. But we sat outside, and they brought her own personal water bowl. So I was like, it was so nice. We could take the dogs in the shops, and like I said, that's what I like. Fayetteville is starting to do that downtown.
Yeah, we have a lot of.
There's a lot of pet friendly places.
Yeah, there's a really nice restaurant on West Rowan Street that has a patio that's dog friendly.
Yes, and
Bright Light is dog friendly.
Yes.
Prest accepts pets.
Yes,
can walk around. There's a lot of places downtown where pets are.
And I love that because people, I have noticed a trend in people starting to take their pets everywhere they do go.
You see them all over Lowe's hardware stores.
Michael's. I've seen them in Michael's. And so it's really cool to see all that stuff. So Greenville, South Carolina is a great place to go. One we just went to last weekend, actually, was Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I kind of grew up there during the summertime. It is about 3 hours from here. And they have military base there. So if you're military, there you can get camping right on the beach. There's Cape Henry, which is a historic lighthouse built in the 1700s. That's at Fort Story. There's the Virginia Aquarium there that is simply amazing. You can pet stingrays. They have sharks. They have every single water animal you can imagine. And we spent so much time there. And then we also went to Nauticus, which is right on the one of their harbors there, and they have the USS Wisconsin battleship there that you can tour as well. And we did that, and it was so cool to see those turrets, and you can get inside of one of the turrets.
And those guns are big.
They're huge, and my kids loved it because they could touch things. It wasn't a museum where it was all hands off. Everything is hands on. And inside the Nauticus Museum, we got to pet sharks, and that was a little freaky, but it was awesome. It was an experience my kids had never had before, and probably won't have again, to pet sharks and see all the different stuff they have at Nauticus. And then we went to the beach. What else did we do there? We did so many things there. Growing up, they have an amazing water park there. They have tons of golf places there. They've got the boardwalk there too.
I just want to know how fast you drive when you get to Virginia Beach in 3 hours.
I drive the speed limit, maybe a few
Barely.
over.
3 hours to Virginia Beach. Because my in-laws lived up in Tab, not far from there. They'd take us 4.5 hours to get there. So I don't know, but anyway.
I took 95 to 58.
Yeah, 95 to 58.
Yeah.
Got across, yeah.
Yeah, and it was about 3 hours. That's what Waze told me.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
good.
well, that's good. Okay, Waze. Yeah, there are many ways. By the way, I just wanted to sidetrack for just a minute because I saw Chancellor McLaughlin over at Hope Mills had checked in for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that's going on in the area. Hope Mills, the first Thursday of every month, has their food truck rodeo back behind City Hall. Over there by where the rec center is and City Hall and the police department and the area back there. They set up back there, and they normally will have 4 to 5 food trucks. But they also have music. Sometimes they'll have a live band. Sometimes they'll have a DJ. They'll have stuff for the kids to do. It's really neat. They have really embraced the food truck scene.
Kind of like us. Fayetteville has a lot of food truck stuff happening too.
And they so they do that the first Thursday of every month.
And you know, we have one every Tuesday. There's a food truck happening over at the CVB.
At the CVB, yep. And then at Manna Church on Thursdays.
Yes.
Yep.
Thursday evenings.
It's
So-
all the trucks are popping up all over Fayetteville, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Isn't that name?
So anyway, it's the kind of thing that's part of SEED trying to help small businesses get going. So we really appreciate what they're doing. Anyway, you were talking, but within 3 hours, you made me think of some other places while I was at it. Because you mentioned the Battleship. Of course, there's Battleship, North Carolina, at Wilmington.
Yep, that's
And
where
then
we're gonna go there.
and if you go down to Charleston, you've got the Yorktown aircraft carrier, and you've got a submarine that you can go to there in Charleston, and that's just it's
That
a
sounds
shade
fun.
over 3 hours, not too much more than that. And then the aquariums you mentioned. There's also the aquarium down at Fort Fisher, and then there's one in the Outer Banks, and it's the same kind of thing where you can go in and pet. The creatures
Of the deep.
creatures of the deep. So those are pretty cool areas to look at. I'll give you a place that you can take your youngins to that you really enjoy for a day trip down. Is Bald Head Island. If you've never been never been to Bald Head Island, it's right off of Southport. You go into Southport, and then you catch a ferry across to the island.
We did a ferry for the first time.
And on the island, nobody drives a car. They're all on golf carts. It's got one of the oldest lighthouses on the. We're that close.
Yeah.
One of the oldest lighthouses on the coast is there called Old Baldy, and you can climb to the top of it and look out. And it's just got great nature preserves and stuff, and the beaches, even on the most crowded weekend, the beaches are not crowded at all. So it's really a neat place to go see. And I hear music playing, and Tammy's saying, "Shut up, Wade! It's time to get the show over." Well, anyway, you've been listening to What's Going On Fayetteville. I'm Wade, and
I'm Tiffany.
And she's
Kelly.
Yeah, so we appreciate you listening in. Kelly, thanks for the call in today. We hope you learned about something new to do in the Fayetteville area or something that's within reach of the Fayetteville area. Easy. That's our target to do all the time. And remember, try to stay with some of your local people and support their businesses because they're supporting you. Yes. So anyway, thanks for listening to us on the WIDU Radio Network. We'll be back next week with more of What's Going On Fayetteville.
Thank you all. Good show.
Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Thanks, Chancellor. We will be sure to make sure we mention that again next week. And as far as Good Living Coffee Zone, we definitely want you to come on the show. So make sure you reach out so that we can get that scheduled. Thank you so much, Chancellor. We appreciate it. And I did get your message, and I will be sure to mention that closer to the date of the event. Thanks, guys. I'll see you all next week. Bye.
I told you she's amazing.
Say bye.
Bye.